to that chair either, girl. What are you looking at?
Freak.
That enclosure back here is new to her because it's not usually in here.
Oh,
She may be looking at that, kind of wondering what that is.
she's active.
I think she might be green beans this morning.
Like, oh, green beans.
Green beans the winner this morning? Usually she doesn't care for the green beans.
That is surprising. Normally she's
Yeah.
like, doesn't want them.
Yeah, usually green beans are
She doesn't want any of that.
Yeah.
She's snubbed her nose at that. Today's a green bean kind of day.
So what are you looking for, girl?
And this will be on YouTube later on if you want to go and watch it.
Oh, wow. She's all twisted up.
Yeah. They do have 3 extra vertebrae in their lumbar spine that allows them to twist their spines like that. Whereas the 3-toed sloths, you can see a lot of pictures of those where they're hanging all 4 feet onto that branch. They've actually got their neck twisted back to look behind them at that camera. That's because they have those 3 extra vertebrae in their cervical spine.
She's loving the green beans.
Yeah,
She
it's
is.
surprising. Going through a mood change. You're not going to be a hairstylist this morning, girl. I promise you're not going to make it look better.
You're welcome. Hard to tell where her back is. You don't want to touch the side, but you're like, where's your back?
Yeah, she's all twisted
She's
up.
all twisted
like
I'm
up.
trying to.
It can be difficult sometimes.
Hi. Thank you.
That's my hand.
Hello.
Oh, so we have to just lean back from her.
Okay. How about if I just do that?
Maybe good.
Here.
Very warm. You're very warm, Zoe.
Sorry, baby. Just get my hair out.
Yeah, she's good.
And they have their babies upside down.
They do, yeah. And so someone was asking me yesterday if they have the same kind of bond as other animals, like if they stay with their moms and things like that. And they don't to the extent that other mammals do. So when they're first born, obviously they've spent 11 months of their lives just
Yeah.
cooking that in them, and so they want to make sure that it has a good chance. So if they are born, sometimes they do fall, and they'll go down to the base of the tree to get that baby. I think I heard Tatum already talking about how they're built to withstand falls like
Yeah.
that, so it's not that big
Yeah,
of
like
a deal
100
for
foot
them.
fall.
Yeah. And so the baby's the same way. You'd think of a baby, a newborn, being extremely fragile. And they are more fragile than the adults, but they've still got the whole 46 ribs and all that connective tissue that's holding everything where it's
46
supposed to.
ribs.
Mhm.
So it's one big gigantic rib down.
Basically, I mean, those ribs go all the way down right up against their hip bones. So it's like a protective casing for them. They would
That's
go
just so
down and
awesome.
get that baby if that baby were to fall. But after it gets to the point where mom's not producing milk anymore, that baby's pretty much learned all the skills that mom has to teach it. Then they both just eventually separate, and it's not like the baby will stay around the mom for months after they're weaned like a lot of other animals do. They just will eventually separate, and a lot of times the tree that a baby is born in is the tree that sloth will stay in the rest of its life. So
Oh.
mother will leave it and find a nearby tree and stay in that, and that baby will stay in
So
it.
how often do they reproduce?
About every 2 years.
Okay, every 2 years.
Hello. She's just hanging out now. She makes like little noises and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Little puffs and puffs. For more green beans. Nope. Can't get any of this.
And she's how old?
She's 17 months old.
Oh, just a baby.
Yeah.
So when do they
about
grow
plateaued
out a
off.
baby and considered an adult?
Around 2.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty much plateaued off with her weight. So we're thinking that she's going to be pretty steady around. Yesterday I weighed her and she was 22.6. Today she's probably closer to like 19 because she did go to the bathroom last night.
Yeah.
And it is a good amount that they expel. So, and it's
Well,
not
I guess
just
a week's
solids.
worth.
Yeah, it's not just solids. It is liquids as well. So I've not even had a chance to clean up her urine just yet. And there is a huge pile underneath there on all those shavings where the shavings are wet. And usually she goes in the evenings when nobody's down here and it's a lot quieter. But she got off of her schedule last week and went during the middle of the week, and it was during the day. And I walk back in here and I hear this trickling sound, and I'm like, what is that noise? And I look in there and she's, holding on to the base of that tree, and she's just peeing a good little stream, and it was a good amount that she let out.
So cute.
Oh, don't bite. It's not food. She mouths a lot like a toddler sometimes. Sometimes she'll even put her own hand in her mouth and she'll start chewing on that there in the front. Because in the front there, their mouths, they don't have any teeth. It's just those 4 molars on the sides, and then the 4 canines on the sides, and then the molars in the back.
So funny.
Not that one. Yeah. She's picky like that sometimes.
Flash was picky this morning.
Yeah, did he eat some rice for
He
you?
ate rice and some green beans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's liking the green beans.
She's nowhere near as picky as Flash is, hence the little booty belly that she's got going on.
Boot belly.
How much does Flash weigh?
Flash is around 15 pounds.
Oh, okay.
And then Zoe's like, a little bit more than that, so. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I was
She
gonna
looks
say, I
kinda
thought she
more
was
petite.
smaller.
But they came from totally different breeding facilities, and have very different nutritional backgrounds. And we know what Zoe has had since she was weaned from her mother, because we do have a good relationship with that breeder, but we don't know exactly what Flash was fed after he was weaned.
There's actually breeders of sloths.
There are, so
Really?
we got Zoe and Dash, both from a breeder that's been doing it for over 30 years. He's actually a veterinarian, and what started his breeding program was that he was working down somewhere that they were native to, trying to rehabilitate some injured sloths that had actually been electrocuted. A lot of times what happens is that they'll be trying to pass, go over a road using a power line, and that's fine as long as they're on one, but as soon as they complete that circuit and connect over onto another one, that's when they're electrocuted. And so they were trying to rehabilitate some of those sloths, and the ones that could not be rehabilitated and could not live a normal life back out in the wild, actually started his breeding program. That was over 30 years ago, and then since then, he's had generations upon generations upon generations of sloths that have been born and raised in captivity to now produce what we have here at Zoe. Obviously, if you were to try to have an encounter like this with a wild sloth, it would essentially be like holding a feral cat.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes she's obsessed with that little pocket there. I think somebody spilled something in there at some point, and there's some
Cute and fussy. It's like a little baby.
You would think that it would have been yesterday that she was really cranky because she was building up just about to go to the bathroom, but she's like really lovey right before she goes to the bathroom, and then right afterwards she's like
Fussy. She feels better. So what does he hope to achieve by breeding?
So it's kind of the same thing as like the white rhino theory. So if we would have left those out in the wild, the sloths are not endangered yet. Their habitat is getting to be, but we want to keep it to where we have all of these sloths in captivity, so that if it does happen someday, that we're able to still have the species around.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, what's happening down there in places that they're native to is that people will book a sloth encounter down there because I think what their thought process is probably that, well, if I go down there and support, holding a sloth down there where they're native to, they've not been taken from their natural habitat and like brought to the States. So I'll just go down there so that it's not, harmful or anything. But going down there is actually the worst plan, because all of those sloths have been taken from captivity. Well, they're still like in the trees of the Sarcopia trees. They most of the time are used repeatedly, day in and day out, for multiple days doing these encounters.
You want?
You just look in there.
Sorry, baby, I got too close tonight, I'm sorry.
And those sloths have a life expectancy of less than a month after this, if it happens like that. So she probably talked to you a little bit about the sloth moth symbiotic relationship and how they have a whole, basically ecosystem on their backs that those wild sloths rely on. And if that's disturbed, or some of that, you know, the moth population is deteriorated, that's really harmful for the wild sloths because temperature is always fluctuating. And, you know, if they don't have